A lot of people ain't Muslims, and a lot of people ain't Christian. But if I say Allah or God, it just means God. That's all Allah means. The most beneficent, the most beloved, the most omnipotent, the most omnipresent, most benevolent, the most just loving and caring God. That's all Allah means. So if I say Allah, I'm not gonna get no damn backpack and run into freaking Safeway and blow everybody up. No more than I would do it if I say God. But Muslims as well as Christians have been guilty of mass murder in the name of their God, and that's what makes me aware of the fact that religion is nothing but corrupt criminal propaganda used to extract wealth from the masses and to push image of a superior God onto the foolish believers. That's the reason why you have black people today that worship the image of a white man as they got. Now you have a black woman. If I come to her as a melanated woman, I come to her as a melanated man and try to say to her, they tricked you when they told you that this is God. Because see, this is no more God. As a matter of fact, you are more of a goddess than this is God. I've had so many arguments with melanated women as to where they completely stop being my friend. Because we be friends and we be talking, then we get on the matter of they Jesus, and I be like, well, I know you think I'm a Christian because of the way I carry myself, but I'm not a Christian. Well, I didn't think you was a Christian because you wear the hat. I kind of thought you was a Muslim. No, I'm not a Muslim either. Well, what are you? What do you believe in? I say, I believe that I am God. I know that I am God. And once I tell them that, it's a problem. Because see, in their book, the only person that could be God is Jesus. The grasshopper that skips through the grass can't be God. The rain that falls to the earth can't be God. You know what I mean? The roar of the lion, not even the lion, but just his roar that you hear and don't even see him can't be God. And the stupid Coca-Cola bottle that come past in the river, the Coca-Cola bottle or the river can't be God. But all these things on the earth, there's nothing except for the one picture of Jesus. That's God by itself. That one little picture of Jesus is the only thing that could be God. And then when you try to talk to the melanated woman and say, don't you think somewhere in your heart that you should be God? Because you can have a baby and all kind of stuff. Well, I can only do that because Jesus can't even have a baby because he ain't here. You'll never see him. So let's wake up, okay? And I hate to tell you, but you're never going to see Muhammad either. I hate to tell you that. And you never need to see a star. What you need to do is go look in the mirror and see yourself. And then you'll be looking at your true God. You don't need nobody else to be your God. I ain't trying to be nobody God. When I tell people I'm the God of Sar, that's for me. I ain't trying to make nobody bow down to me, worship me, or nothing. But the thing about it is that the sun did make me the true king of this planet. And, that it is what it is. But you ain't going to see me trying to tell nobody they got to do shit. Only thing you need to do is keep you a good heart. And love God. And love everybody on the planet. And you'll see that wealth and prosperity going to be restored to everybody. Because the people that walk around here thinking they going to pimp everybody, they getting their ass blowed off this planet every second we sit here and talk. Please believe that. It's nothing but spiritual energy dropping on this whole planet right now. People should be getting healed. Women should be able to find them some husbands. People should be stop smoking them cigarettes, stop eating, stop drinking that alcohol. Everybody's attitudes is changing. There's so much love in the city. It's pathetic. Not pathetic like it shouldn't be there. I'm saying compared to when I first got here, the way people are acting now is just really a beautiful thing, And I just want to tell that to everybody. I can see it, and I'm really proud that I live in this city. I really am, Okay, so let me move on. Alright. Allah, the great God of perfection, never made an imperfect child. All children are made in the image and after the likeness of God. Alright? Okay, now here we go. Another sample of his man-made stupidity as opposed to the infinite wisdom of Allah is the birth of... Okay, I read that already. Okay, I got that too. Okay, socially black single moms are mothers debased from the lawful motherhood acquired during marriage bonds. The single mother is emphasized because of the lack of lawful husband more so than by the fatherless child now held in her custody. The little known fact of lawful marriages is there are no licensed black marriages. certificate in which the European is bound to respect during neither the physical nor the period of mental slavery. Think about it for a moment. Only a functioning government based upon this creed and principles has the power to set forth marriage laws for its citizens, be it a government of the book or other forms of civic legislation. Such laws are set aside for the benevolence of its nation. The question is, what government or legislature or principles or nations do black have in order to establish marriage laws? Let me explain something to you. The only person that's responsible of creating a marriage law for a man and a woman on this planet is the man and the woman that's going to be in a marriage with each other. When you employ somebody else into your marriage and give them the right to give you permission to be with somebody else, what you do now is give them the right to stay involved with your shit from beginning to end. The only person that's necessary for a man and a woman to marry themselves to each other in the eyes of is your creator. And that would be the son. S-U-N, son. That's all you got to do. And then when you really ordain a genuine oath in a wedding, is in the vows, is that you just don't double cross the person that you say you love. Don't do these things that you know will make you be upset if she did it to you or if he did it to you. It's real simple. Just be a God about everything you do, and then you don't have to worry. Because you know certain things ain't right. You talking about I love you and woo 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 and this and that, then you sneaking around with somebody. Come on, we know better than that. Alright, you all know. Alright? Think about it for a moment. Only a functioning government based upon its creed and principles has the power to set forth marriage laws for its citizen, be it a government of the book or other forms of civic legislation. Such laws are set aside for the benevolence of the nation. The question is, what government or legislation or principles or nations do blacks have in order to establish marriage laws? None, since blacks have no government for which to set aside their own marriage laws. Then I give the reader 2 guesses as to whose marriage laws have Africans in America used to govern themselves in matrimony. Oh, the second guess does not count. The second guess does not count. In legalized slavery in the United States, there were and are no marriages between 2 slaves, property and persons, ever recognized equivalent to those of free men. The only exception was possibly if the marriage took place between a male that happened to be a free national and a female slave. Otherwise, only other free citizen honored the marriage among free citizens. Slaves who jumped the broom, tied a knot, or got hitched believed in their minds they were married. Truth is, it was their owners who sanctioned these methods and ceremonies according to their whims and laws. Today, although the weddings are more elaborate and a state license is required, it is still the European owners who approve their spurious marriages. Not much has truly changed in 400 years. It is only through United States and state-owned and state-controlled marriage licenses which the European regulates and recognizes marriages in America. The solemnization of those marriages can then be either religious or civic. Customarily, this is where an authorized agent of the state, justice of the peace, minister, state license, etc., invested with state power to bring God into the marriage. Most Moors get married before your own grand sheiks and ministers, or you may as well go downtown to buy your wives from the Europeans. And what he's saying is that people should get married by their own nationality. And, you know, since we don't have a true nationality as melanated men and women in this country, we definitely need to go find us someone outside of any type of connection to a corrupt government to do our bid of us getting married and everything like that, so we don't have any chaotic interference and nobody coming in trying to take advantage through corrupt policies that we know is customary with certain people. Okay? Alright. Buy your wives is key because it distinguishes the choice available to free Moors and granted privileges offered to slaves. The only problem with this system is after a couple of ideals, a kid sets 1.2 babies and bills within 5 years, 83% of the marriages are back in the same legal jurisdiction it came from. Perhaps the cause of this is because God was just a tad tardy being brought into this picture of matrimony. I would think so, because see, when you have a system set up by somebody who wants to perpetuate single moms, you better believe that that is the wrong person for you to be going to, letting them know of your plans to have a divine marriage to somebody for the rest of your life. They gonna do everything they can to destroy that shit. Please believe me. Okay? As far as probably giving you voodoo certificates and everything, all kind of crazy voodoo rituals they be doing, and you go down there exchanging your energy with them, giving them money, they gonna give you a tainted document for you to take home. You don't have to believe if you don't want to, I don't care. Every true nation has its own marriage laws. The Muslim marriages are a pure and clean nation, are no exception to this rule. Yeshua, through Sheikh Sharif Abu Ali, reveals the marriage law of man and wife from Allah. It says, now marriage is the site of man's law. It is not a promise made by man and women by the sanction of the priest to live together unto death. Neither priest nor officer has the power from Allah to bind two souls in wedded love. What is a marriage tie? It is not what the priest may say or do. There is but one man and woman's heart, and that is all ever to be. Your priest cannot cause this to be. Love is the power of God that binds two souls and makes them one. There is no power on earth that can dissolve this bond. The bodies may be forced apart by man or death for just a little time, but they will meet again. Now in this bond of God, we will find the marriage tie. All other unions are bound of straw, and they will live in them commit adultery. All other unions are bound of straw, and they who live in them commit adultery. Whom Allah has joined together, man cannot part. Whom man has joined together, live in sin. And see, let me explain to you what they're saying. What this book is saying, it makes a lot of sense to me. I can truly understand it. It's saying real simple. If you as a person that has not come to grip with your true reality itself, that means that you will feel that you still need man to give you a permission to be with someone else. A person is vibrating on the type of intelligence and the vibrations that I get from the sun, like me. If I met a woman who had the same conceptualization of herself, goddess, and she knew she was a goddess, and I know that I'm a god, we would both look stupid as hell going to the courtyard here downtown to ask the judge to marry us to each other, because we're both wise enough to know that all we got to do is be with each other. That's all you got to do. But if you believe that you're going to go with society's definition of what a marriage is, and then that's the only ritual you got millions of people who did that don't have 1 ounce of energy inside of them to stop acts of infidelity and adultery and still remain with each other just because they're married. Miserable as hell, but married. You know, I'd rather be single the rest of my life than to be involved with a relationship with someone that's not faithful to me. You know, because I know what a faithful person I am. So why would I go out there and just jump down with any person that I know as soon as she get a chance, she gonna run out and be meeting other guys and out laying at home feeling stupid as hell, or going to go get a stick or a knife or a gun and go out there and let my ego get my ass put in prison. See? So if you're wise enough to already know that the first step to being married is to knowing how responsible you need to be, then you know you don't need to get permission from nobody else. If you love a woman and she loves you, y'all both take that to God and it's a wrap. Of course, you don't have to listen to me on that because I know a lot of you guys have your religion involved with the way things work, and I'm not going to be the person that's responsible for your mama strangling your ass, so don't get me involved with that. I'm just talking to the conscious people out there that know that what I'm saying is right. Okay. All current state marriage licenses issued by the courts to all persons born in the United States. Black Africans America hold no true law status. Quiet as is kept, today's black are no more of a free national citizen in 2009 than the Negroes in 1779. The evidence supporting the avenues leading to the society of single moms by far outweigh those islands of man-made marriages. This holds especially true for the so-called Negro. The point of law here is, since Negro, Black, African Americans are not lawful nor free national identities, they themselves are not free citizens, and therefore their marriages means nothing to the credit sale of the law. And that's the reason why we need to be real serious about having a self-evaluation and knowing how far you're gonna go in this straw man game that they play with you. You have no rights, nothing. Only thing that I found happens mostly is that you can just give up your money, and that's it, and give up all your privileges and don't worry about anything, pretty much itself. Working, and never having shit, and working, and being looked down upon, and working. That's how America rolls. Unless, of course, you want to do something illegal, then you could get you some money really fast or get killed. Or all these things you still have to answer to. You might have a lot of money on earth and this and that, but all those people you sold drugs to and they stole their mama's money and everything that goes on with the whole dynamics of that, you'd be held accountable for it, So we got to understand that we're in a place where this devil has set up a lot of extremities of devices, and you just got to make sure that you just don't touch certain things. Real simple. Okay? Y'all with me? I know, I be going fast on there, but you'll be able to keep up, don't worry. Okay, most Western thinkers, especially the control-minded, Negro, blacks, and colors, are caught up into pre-wedding rituals, bachelor and bachelorette party, all to get you to spend money. That's all it's about. All to get you to spend money. Then the wedding ceremony, and of course the ever-popular post-wedding reception. None of these has anything to do with the actual marriage itself, but by the time any of these public witness events are performed, all true marriages would have long since taken place. That's absolutely right. To focus on the wedding causes the principal to lose sight on real marriage. Hence, our groom and brides are likely candidates for the waiting and escalating divorce rate. This is similar to having the means to get that shiny car off the showroom floor, drive it off the lot without consideration to sustain the 60 months of payment, hence repo. Now think about that, because this is really something to think about. As soon as you drive your car off of the showroom floor, it starts depreciating immediately. And now you got 60 months of payment. That's 5 years of payment. But the thing is, after your first year, the car gonna start getting old, but you still gonna have 4 years left of the same amount of payment that you started paying at the beginning of the year for the car. So now when the car is 3 years old, you've had it 3 years, and you've been paying $500 a month for it for 3 years. It's all old and paint falling off of it now, and the tires is all wearing out and this and that, and but you're still paying the same amount of money for the car that you was paying for when you took it off the lot brand new. Now it sounds to me like somebody made a foolish deal. That's the same thing with a wedding. If you got a bad salesman in the courthouse that's going to convince you that you need to come to see him or her to be with someone that the universe done already gave you permission to love and be with, then they see you coming and they're going to take advantage of you. I hate to tell you that, but it's true. I mean, it is. Okay? The heritage of Moorish tribal marriages, as in all other Eastern and Native churches, has a holistic foundation. Moorish children were taught early on to see Allah in all living things. Yep, that's what I agree. This includes seeing the Creator in their parents and ultimately in the spouses as well. See, it's a problem. We have a world that teaches us that black people ain't nothing, women ain't nothing, oh stupid insect bugs, everything's so insignificant except Jesus or Muhammad and all this crazy foolishness going around the earth. But I'm not saying that to pick on any religion, but we just got too many people on earth that's quick to discredit things and say that there's no real physical need for them. It's like, who the hell are you to say that? But it's really true. We need to stop with all of the, castration of people and making everything on earth that is God all of a sudden become nothing. And then we're using huge bodies of land to throw garbage in. And we have more land on the earth used to get rid of garbage than to house people. That's just pathetic. I mean, it's just something, I just don't understand it. Man. Okay. Most children were taught early to see Allah in all living things. This includes seeing the creators and their parents and ultimately in their spouses as well. The pale-skinned invaders, not understanding these unseen forces, resolve this form of civilization as paganism, mainly because their vision is limited to the manifestation of life, not the source of life. Therefore, the essence of Moorish marriages, the wife saw Allah in the forms of their husbands and vice versa. The Moorish husbandmen were totally responsible for his household, like his creator. He is the protector, guide, and spiritual vicegerent of the family. Still, his greatness could not shine in all his glory without the godliness of the Moorish woman radiating in the family. It was this circle and this bond that had to be broken before the enslavement of Africa be a European success. The marriage bonds and holistic family tie has to be severed first before any nation can be completely conquered. This enactment of controlled matrimonies is another European Masonic secret which buried the Moorish nation in a shallow grave beneath the genocide tree with its roots called the single moms. A true wife is obedient to her husband and honors his house. However, this is not possible unless she believes in the capacity of her husband and the fruition of their marriage bonds. Her obligation for self are to him, the creator, and children. Here is where she is rewarded in freedom and virtues of the harmonies of life. American history will reflect that so-called black marriages as representations of families intact has never been at the best interest of the status quo. There are obvious reasons why they are not promoted or funded by governments like birth control clinics, welfare fraternities, courts, and single moms. Families are the foundation stones to any nation. No family, no nation. Simple yet, while the productions of single moms are unnatural for African people, they are judicially and financially sound investment for many of the Western social entities. These span from children clothing to the television, from social services to income producing industries, and from across the rack common communities to huge urban jungles. Single moms are bred to be perpetual tumors on the national body of their people. The institution of single moms are accepted as normal as it thrives in a foreign nation, militaries, politics, government, affiliations, and religious circles. All of this and more are fruits from the Negro, blacks, and Afro-minded people. The status of a people will also determine their social value. If your status is NBC, then notice it is by no means accidental. The reason you has not yielded any credible worth to yourself as a people in the 400 years of your man-made existence. Those who made you NBC has pre-planned the circumference of your unified growth and development for failure. It must be remembered the light of all marriage bonds grows dimmer in the widespread darkness of a nation moral and social decay. Most people hardly notice that married people, although receiving more as a standard deduction, are taxed higher than single parents. In fact, single parent families are classified as head of household by the Internal Revenue Service. Depending the income and number of dependent children, they can receive $1,000 to $4,000 in earned income credit, free as an incentive for their HOA filing status. As for single moms, this EIC and child care credits for adjusted gross income is like a financial salve the wounds of misplaced fathers. Those earning between $2,000 and $30,000 often look forward to this government subsidy appeasement more so than to the real explanation as to why their men are disappearing in groves. Noble Drew Ali reintroduced countless first and lawful origins to his slumbering Moorish people. Commander-in-Chief William Clinton and wife during their 1998 tour of African countries became the first American president to acknowledge Africa as the cradle of civilization. Today it is common knowledge that 7 shaped continents is the birthplace of the entire human family. Among these teachings were the historical truth of Africa was not only their continental mother but also the womb of the first physical man. He taught. What place on earth was the physical part of man formed in the Garden of Eden? There is only one race, the human race, subdivided in 2 distinct species. One with people hue, and the other is pale without hue, and that's spelled H-U-E, hue. The family with hue began its divine origin in the Garden of Eden. The garden is in the east of Eden, which is the biblical name for Africa. The other divide, the Caucasoid of Europe, disclaims having a divine or human origin. In fact, the latter, due to their extensive DNA research, are theorizing his beginnings are from the primates of Central West Africa. The Holy Prophet did teach the Moors of their divine origin, for them to know they were made in the image and after the likeness of the great God Allah. The hueless people, on the other hand, were able to maintain their pure race because of their millenniums of isolation to the continent of Europe. Meanwhile, the humans of color were being fruitful and multiplying and migrating civilizations throughout the world. Although the Romans, Greeks, etc. had infested the Mediterranean circle into the interiors of Africa's Holy Land, they did not venture globally until after the 15th century AD. An estimated 60 million Europeans left their continental home between the 16th and 220th centuries. By the year 2000, the Earth's population is about 6 billion, with a human birth rate at 27 per second, according to the Population Reference Bureau. Of this earth mass of nations, tribes, and families, the people of hue compile nearly 85%, but increasing more slower than normal due to strategically planted viral diseases, AIDS, anthrax, and a host of communicable and sexually transmitted diseases. Albeit there are nearly 60 million Moorish in America present, but unaccounted for. Okay, the name of this one is Where Are Their Men? There must be a clear conception that all of the Moorish men born into the subject to the jurisdiction of the state of the United States, state of the United States, have been systematically displaced. This displacement, legally enforced since 1779, have rendered all Moorish men, that means melanated men, powerless, economically displaced, without sovereignty. Okay, you know what? This is a good time to let you know this. I tried to start that business here, and I swear to you, everything that I tried to do, nothing worked. It was just one chaotic circumstance after another. Then my politics, when I started making these YouTube videos and dropping them on TV, people really started like not wanting to try to do nothing. You know, I could see people who used to give me stuff not wanting to give me anything. But except for some people, they was like feeling it because they knew I was telling the truth about why the world is messed up the way it is. But my point being that even if I didn't start making a YouTube segment, the fact that the government is set up where they can make so much profit off of keeping the black man undesirable by the black woman and the melanated man undesirable by the melanated woman, when you got a woman that's straight up materialized and want to have shiny cars and rims and nice boots and a nice purse and have her hair did and her nails did, and you ain't got no money to give her that, trust me, she would stay single, have a child, get set up in an apartment and everything to get some money and some support from a white guy, and then go out and play all kind of men to get other money on the side. Now, what happens is more babies pop up from that type of lifestyle. And then the man that she's playing around with because they got money, they get shot, they go to prison, they go run off with other women, and then you got a woman raising a son by herself that's going to grow up to be the same jerk off that those men were that she brought around her. Okay, and then along with that, they trying to keep our asses just broke. That's why my business fell. Because the good people who did want to help me, because they just had it like that, but truth be told, somewhere inside, they didn't really want me to get too big, because nobody wants to see somebody that you consider to be beneath you to live better than you. So you see someone climbing too fast, you will very quickly turn your head the other way and try not to help them again, if you especially see them coming up. And this is the circumstance we have in this world, as to where so many people think it's their duty to stagnate the process of the God-man on this earth. But see, the God-man, even after 500 years of stagnation, is still going to rise to the top, because that's the way it's written. That's the way the universe wants it. So the foolishness of all this stuff that's been going on to try to keep people down, it's just keeping yourself down. And it's based on ignorance. That's all this murdering and all these lies and all this murdering and lies that's still going on. It's been going on for 6,000 years. And the people responsible for this stuff has all come did their little shit and died and went to hell. And it just keep going on. And people sitting around the earth suffering because they don't understand that the problem is too many women having babies without having a husband. That needs to stop. It needs to stop. And all this men going to jail stuff need to stop. And it's gonna stop because you see what just happened in Ohio, in the heartland of America. It's just starting. It's just, like I was saying, they're gonna keep locking black men up in jail and stopping us from having jobs and everything, and their homes are going to keep being destroyed. Okay? And let me tell you something, they're not telling us the truth about the death tolls because there's more people dying than what they're telling you. They just don't want you to know that yes, people are dying. The universe is killing certain people off this earth real fast, and I don't even want to say it because I don't even like the way it feels in my heart when I say it, because I don't want people to think that I enjoy saying that shit, because I do not. I admit I got upset about the lies and the trouble I was going through with the court, and it made me get a little bit